Hello, 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 and welcome, my lovelies, to my channel. This is Entertainment in Color, and this is our Bachelorette recap, episode 4, Charlie Lawson, season 20. I'm so kind of excited to talk about this episode, and only because my two faves of the season got
One on
eight.
one.
They got 101.
Yay!
And of course, we will touch on the braiding of it all. But welcome to everybody out there, and welcome, Miss Chi Joy. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
So, yes, guys, Chantel will hopefully be popping in when she's finished her claim to fame show. But we're going to get started. Lots to talk about.
Lots.
Oh, can we believe we're mid season already?
I
Mid
can't believe it. I can't
season!
believe it.
We got a mid-season trailer, which I thought was ridiculous, by the way. I'm like, why are you showing us all of that?
I
Like,
want to be
what?
surprised. I don't want to know everything. But this is what shows do now. They give you everything.
Like, it's so ridiculous. I need them to stop doing this.
Hmm.
Like for real, because it.
Yeah,
I like some of the stuff I saw. Was like, I don't want to know that yet.
exactly.
I
I
don't.
stopped
I don't.
watching some of them.
Yeah,
I
I
stopped
don't want to
watching
know
them.
it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So somebody was like that. She watches it on mute with like one eye closed, and I was like, I should start doing that. I should start doing that. Um, hey Debu, welcome. So let's get quickly started. So apparently they're on the move again. And I did hear that they were doing a lot of local travel this season, and then they get one international travel, which I forget where they're gonna go. But they leave California and head to Stevenson, Washington. Now, have you ever
Mm.
heard of Stevenson, Washington?
I have not. I have not, but it must be close to Seattle because it was raining a lot.
Fair point. Fair point. Like I cannot. I I was like, oh my gosh, this place is like very like woodsy and
Yeah,
vibey, and I like it. But I
yeah,
also like, where is it?
right, right.
And I always wanted to plan a trip out to, I think it's either Washington or Seattle, where because they have like a large, I think it's like a black like wine area, wine country. I think it's
Oh,
Seattle or outside Seattle or Portland or something,
okay.
and it like just the thought of doing that, and then they have like a town that's like all black with all black food and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, I really
Th-
want to do something
That
like
would
that.
be
Plan a
great.
trip. But again, like even with this vibe, I feel like it's such a couple vibe rather than like a girl trip vibe. So like even with the stuff that they did on their like one and ones here, I'm like, oh, see, that's what I said. Like it would be
I
the
know.
perfect
And the
couple trip.
cabin and stuff. It did look very
Yeah.
like romantic and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
really did. It really did.
if I ever find a boo, that's the trip
Hello.
we're gonna find. Plan. Dabu says, "Is it me or next episode the last before hometowns based on the number of men? We are mid season, so what? Like I think we're gonna lose like one man a week.
Here on out.
Because so what? 6 men are left after this episode, and one man hometowns.
No, I think we probably have two more episodes. Maybe we lose one man a week.
It's
Then
8 episodes. Somebody told me, but then also after the final rose and what do
reunion.
you call it? Men tell all.
Men tell all. Okay.
So that's
10.
that's 2 episodes, 2 more episodes. So it's
Oh, that's included in the eight episodes?
yeah. So I think
Nah. I'm thinking 8 episodes and then those two would make it 10. It can't be because we already have four. When this episode 4?
yeah.
No, because that would mean it was only two more episodes to be six, and then those two would make eight. So it got to be eight, and then those two make 10.
Okay, hold on, let me see. Maybe they have the schedule out on the web when you Google it. So episode guide. No, they don't have the full episode guide out. I don't know. They have, yeah. I heard and read that there's 8 episodes, so I don't know.
And see, I read it was 10.
Okay.
So I don't know. Mhm. Remember last week I looked it up and it said, well, we don't have a full count, but we were told it's probably 10 episodes. That was the
Mhm.
article that I pulled up last week that I read. So
So we got. I
I'm
thought this episode might be a spillover episode, but I'm thinking we might end up getting a spillover episode.
mhm.
Jabu says, I think they go to Fiji for Fantasy Suites engagement. Okay, so yeah, so that
Fiji. I've always wanted to go
so
to Fiji.
I'm not crazy, right? So it's like hometowns, her family meets whoever, the final four, right? Then the final three is Fantasy Suites, then Men Tell All, then the finale. I'm not crazy, right?
Well, we got to have another episode before the hometowns, right? We have to have another episode, then the hometowns,
So what this next
then the
episode is going to
fantasy
be?
suites, then the engagement one,
So
then
so five
men
men
tell
go
all,
to
and then the final one.
hometowns.
We should have like six more episodes left.
5 men go to hometowns.
No, four. And we have six now, so maybe she'll get rid of two next week, and then we'll be
Okay.
down to four,
Okay.
for hometown. Unless
Okay.
she's gonna get rid of just one and then prolong it.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. This is the first season where I feel like it's a good group of men though. Like I can see how it's getting harder for her. Like
Hmm.
it's a decent group of men. Like Braden was the bad apple. The rest of them aren't that. I mean, I don't see what she's seeing. The one with the what I call him, Ken. Remember he had on the double denim and the Ken episode. What's his name with the
Mm.
blonde hair?
John, yes. Oh my God, we will get to who she ended up picking at the end of this because wow, we.
Exactly.
I did not see that
Exactly. I
coming.
was very shocked to see,
I did
who go
not like.
home.
Somebody was asking me.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, "Oh, so who do we think is going to make it to top 6?" And I was like, "Oh, it's going to be John."
Yes.
And she already gave Dunton and
Xavier,
Xavier
Aaron. Yeah, we
a
had picked
rose.
it,
I said
remember?
Aaron B getting his rose, so it's John. And I said, and between one of the white guys, so Sean or Tanner or Caleb B, Caleb B. And I was shocked when John got. Anyway, we will get there. So yes, they are
Oh my
moved to
god.
Stevenson, Washington, and they're staying in a lodge in Stevenson. It seems like pretty big because they
Yeah.
were kind of spread out. So
Yeah.
that's nice. And Jesse walks in and basically welcomes them, and he says that Charity has arrived because we did see that Charity had come and how she is excited to be in Washington. And
Mhm.
he said he's just there to drop off a date card. And of course, we get ITMs from John. He's so excited. He thinks he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Joey. Oh, I think Joey gets a date card next week, right? I think that was in the preview. Anyway. And so really he's basically like, I'm just here to drop off this date card and go.
Right.
And these
Y'all
guys
had
are
that.
like, yeah, these guys are like, I'm gonna get the date card. Well, the person who gets the date card is Danton. And I never remember to write down what the date cards actually say. But
Oh, it said something about we're gonna take a leap. Something about taking
Oh,
a
yes,
leap.
yes, yes, yes. It was something about a leap. And he was so excited. He was so happy.
Yeah.
And I was Johnson being so, like, I don't know, something about him is just so real.
Pure.
And,
It's so
and
pure, right?
it's so pure. It's
It's
like
so
there's no
pure.
facade. Like,
Nope.
I believe
Nope.
him. I could be completely being snowed by this
Right.
guy,
But
but
he's
I
got me.
believe him. I
Yeah.
love it. It's refreshing, especially on a show like this where
Hmm.
you get so many fakes that come onto the show.
Exactly.
And so Charity drives up and she's driving a Jeep. It's like a bright green Jeep. And they basically, it like, see you later, guys, kiss in front of them and hop in the car. And she's like, I'm driving always. And he's like, all right, all right. And everybody's like, oh, can you even fit in? He's like, I'm good. Don't worry about me.
Hello. Y'all are jealous.
Yeah. It was funny, but yeah, like I love his, just how he takes everything. I think it's actually really really awesome to watch. So
And this, you could tell these episodes, it was for dressing for warmth and comfort over
yeah,
stylish. Everybody like, I need to put on a sweater, a coat, a flannel, a
yeah,
layers.
Don with his little Mr. Rogers sweaters.
Yes.
Um, I will say I like Charity's fashion this season. Whoever, ooh, they've been doing their thing. She looked
Mhm.
amazing in every
It was cute.
outfit.
Mhm.
I love it. Um, so yeah. Let's see. So on the date. Oh, Sean and Braden argue. I did not write much about that argument. I was like, why are we cutting into them arguing? I don't care. So
Nobody cares.
we will come back to that because this is not the first argument. There's multiple
Nope.
arguments, and
Nope.
so I don't care because I just wanted to get to Dante's date. So the date which they previewed was bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping.
Now, if you got a bungee jumping date, what would you do?
I would do it because I've always kind of wanted to go bungee jump.
See,
I mean, but this is the thing, though. This is the thing. I probably would be scared only because I don't know you like that. Like, I would prefer to go with somebody I really trust, but but it is fun and adventurous, and I would trust the people at the bungee jumping place that they would put harness me in appropriately. So I probably would do it.
okay,
What about you?
I don't know if I could. I don't
Really?
know. I
Okay.
am and it's, I told you guys, there's some things like controlling my environment is
Uh
a big
huh.
thing, and it, like, the opposite would give me anxiety. And I've never been with a person that has ever made me comfortable to just be like caution to the wind. And
Hmm.
I mean, I have done a zip line in Vegas, and that was scary enough.
But it was fun, right?
It was fun.
Yes, I did
But I
it.
was in a seated harness. So,
Right.
like, I don't know about jumping off the face of the earth. I just, or even
At
a
least the
bridge.
bridge. It wasn't a
Yeah,
face of earth, but it was the bridge over
I,
that water.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Over a river.
Yes. And
I
then they
just,
did it not once, but twice. I was like, okay, okay,
I can't.
people.
I was like, I can't do this. Um, so I don't know if I could. It would have to be with somebody I feel like
Yeah, you could trust.
made me because the way they did this, it was literally like a couple thing, right?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
had, like, there had to be a lot of trust and
Yes.
affection involved in this because they were side
Uh-huh.
by side, they were hugged up. uh, it was, it was, I just loved how they did it together
Hmm.
because They were both freaking out separately, like in their ITMs, and then they came together, strapped together, and Charity said, "Let's go," and he said nothing and held on to her, and I was like, "That's how you have to do it."
And
He
I
like
think if they would
secured
have done
her.
it separately, it would have been worse if they would have done. I think because she was trying to be strong for him and he was trying to be strong for her, so they both just had the courage to do it. You know, like I don't want to let the other one down.
Yes, that's what it is, and that's what I find about their relationship that I love. They they like meet each other
Yes,
in the way that they each need each other.
I
And
know.
not in a needy way, not in
No,
a needy way, not in an unhealthy way or a
I
toxic way.
like their connection. I
Their
really do.
connection is so beautiful because
And pure.
she needs his strength and his just his validation, and
Mm-hmm.
he needs her strength and her validation. It's just equality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love
Mm-hmm.
it.
I know. I do too. Like I really do like it. It's just so. It just seems like it just can last. Like it would never be a slow. You know, like things are just like a fast burn. Like they're so passionate, but then they just burn out quick. It just seems
Yes.
like theirs is just something that could last multiple decades, and you would just be like,
Yes.
they could be sitting on the porch in their rocking chairs. They've been married for 52 years. Yeah,
Yes.
I got your granddaddy on a reality show. You don't know nothing about that, or something telling their
Yes.
grandkids,
That's how it feels. It feels like
Yeah.
this is the like intro or the preface to their storybook romance, because
Mm-hmm.
they were like meant to meet this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that that's the producers. I really
No,
believe it's
no.
them. I really, but because I feel like if the producers had their way, it would not be him.
Him, Donovan. No, absolutely not. Mm-mm.
And listen, they
That
conquered their
that
fears.
Nigerian man, that he is not that big. No.
Yeah, listen, they conquered their fears, and then they were like, "Listen, let's do it again." And then they did it again. They did it twice, and on both times they kissed. Oh my god, it was so romantic. It was so romantic. I
It
never
was
thought I would see a bungee jumping date where I'm like, oh my god, that was
so
so
romantic.
romantic. And then right afterwards, they look out and there's a beautiful rainbow. And then they both say the same thing at the same time.
How neat was that? That was
Guys,
just so cosmic. I was like, ooh.
guys, I don't know. I might be this.
I mean, is it enough to sway you away from Xavier? Is it enough
Listen, I listen. When we get to Xavier's date, I was shitting bricks. If you were in the Black Roses
group that
clubhouse
you
room,
in?
you
Uh-huh.
saw me freaking the frick out.
Cause
Because I
I
was
was scared. I was like, she was like, he reminds me. I was like, uh oh.
I was sitting close to tears. I think I even tweeted. I said, "Guys, if she lets him go, I think I'm gonna cry." Like, no, please don't do this. All right, so we're gonna get to that, but yes,
Okay.
like I don't know, like they're like kind of equal for me, which I didn't ever think I was gonna say. So
Right.
V says, "I loved their date. It felt nice to see actual." That's what
Yes, me.
I'm saying.
Yes, me.
It's like felt like such a long time since you've seen
Something
actual
as
chemistry
pure
between
as
two
pure.
people who
Yes.
the producers don't want them to do nothing. Like
Right.
even like watching Bachelor in Paradise Canada, again I'm gonna talk spoilers, so spoiler alert. But like even watching Chelsea and Austin, I feel like the way that they came out, the producers were like, okay, these two would be a match, and you saw it from the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Same thing with Tessa and Joey. But on this, like I feel like Because even with the bungee jumping date, I feel like they didn't think this was gonna work. He's sitting like, yeah, mixing up words, mixing them up, and they're like, "You mean blah blah blah?" Like, I think they didn't think he was gonna be up to the task, guys. But he is every time he's with Charity. He's up to the task.
Mm.
Oh, I love this man. Anyway, so they cut into the date again, and we back to arguing. But Joey first says he's excited for Dunton, and Aaron B says he thinks it will calm him, because I think they really do see that this man came for Charity. This
Uh-huh.
man likes her,
Right.
and like, he's real,
Right.
and they recognize them. So and we see at the even the end of the episode how the guys react to who stays and who goes. It was kind of beautiful. I don't think we've
I couldn't believe they were
seen anything.
crying. I
I
could
don't think
not
we've
believe
ever
they were
seen.
crying.
I don't think we ever seen anything like that, guys.
No, that's what I was saying. They're good men, except for who shall not be named. But I felt like they were good men for the most part. I mean, I don't. I mean, Sean can go too, but for the most part, I feel like they're good guys, and they were so upset to see those men go. Xavier was like bawling. I was like, oh my goodness.
The thing is, I don't even think. I just don't think that Braden came there for her. And so I don't
No.
think he's a bad guy. And a lot of the stuff he was saying wasn't necessarily wrong, but there was stuff that he said that I don't appreciate and were very wrong. So it's kind of a like stuff that he said to the guys where a lot of it was correct, right? Like, this is
Yeah,
my
it might have
relationship
been
with her.
correct, but you shouldn't have come on the show if that's how you feel, because
Correct.
that's the whole premise of the show.
That's my problem with it. Because literally it felt like, we'll get to it anyway. I don't want to spend too much time on Braden, so I'm not getting it. But anyway, X and Braden are talking, which I thought was surprising because I thought he annoyed him. But he said, he talked about the potential, and Braden's like, I feel like I'm at the bottom now after what Aaron B did, and it, I get it. Like, you think that you got screwed, but I still agree that what Aaron B did was the absolute, for this situation,
Mm-hmm.
was absolutely the correct move.
Yeah.
And when Adrian did it, I think it was a little annoying. When
Right.
he did it, I really do feel like he did it because he's like, listen, all the guys here are okay with the journey you're about to go on, and we support your journey, and we are in full agreement that if we can, we're going to go on that journey and meet you at the end where you need us to be met, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one guy that's not doing it. And whether I don't know if he's told you or not, but that, like, I think it's important to see that we recognize that he's the one guy not willing to meet you there. And isn't that an issue?
Right. So they say, but according to the mid-season trailer, it looked like some more people struggling to get
Oh
there.
my God.
But we
Like,
won't talk about that.
we're not going to talk about that yet because I was annoyed. I'm like, why are you showing me this? Just surprise me
Right.
so that I can curse them out later. Like, I don't want. All right. So then the next thing we see is another date card, and this one is a group date card, and everyone is on the date card but Xavier. So Xavier is getting the date, which we kind of knew because they previewed it, but I was so excited for him. And then we get back to Dante's date, and they're roasting marshmallows over a fire. I saw cups of hot cocoa. They made s'mores on the fire
Have you
pit.
ever done that with a man? Have you ever
Not
made
with a
s'mores?
man. No, not with a
I've
man.
never done that either. I've always kind of want. I'm not a camping type of girl, but I always wanted to go glamping or stay at a
Yeah,
cabin or something with
yeah.
a guy, and do that. I was like, that would be romantic.
So I have gone camping, but again, so I have made s'mores, but with my kids. I have gone camping with my kids.
Uh huh.
I've slept on the like floor, like in a tent.
The sleeping bag.
Yes,
Oh.
we'll never do it again. I will never do that again. It's glamping all the way for me, Georgia. Buy me a nice, even if it's one of those little couches up on like up,
Yeah,
with a little air mattress bed and then a
yeah.
little teepee. Like, I'll take that, but never again in a tent on the floor. Never
I know
again.
that's right.
So, it's not. I was like, how the frick do people, sleep together on the
Mm.
ground? Like, no,
My
no,
dad used to do it, being in the military, having to do it and stuff. I don't know how they do it. I don't want to do it.
mm,
Nope.
mm, mm. Um, so they're snuggling by the fire, and he wants to open up to her. Listen, this man played this. Listen, this is what I'm saying. He played this date proper and
Yeah,
totally right, and it didn't feel like he was playing.
yeah.
Um, but he says he sees that there's so many facets to her, and that he has many facets, and he wants to make sure that she sees that. But he also is not ever going to put Charity in a box.
Nobody puts baby in a box. You hear me?
Yeah. And the same, she said the same with Elton. She didn't want to put him in a box, and she sees that there's a lot for him. He's trying to learn me for me, she says, and she likes that about him. And he gets his one-on-one rose, and he says he is grateful for the forces that brought them together.
Girl, when they be talking, I be wanting to shed a tear. It's so special. It's like, that's grateful. Grateful.
And they kissed, and I briefly was like turned my head, and the next thing I know, they glistening wet and in a
I
hot.
know, and that
I was like, wait, what happened?
girl, they in that hot tub.
I was like, wait, what did I miss?
When they happened, a ponytail, she in that hot tub with her man. Okay.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I just was like, okay, I like it. Listen, they were making out. They had a good time, and that was the end of their date. I loved their date. I loved their
Yeah, I
date.
thought it was really
Eh,
nice.
Um, I think it, like, if you make me want to like have that kind of date, you did your job,
I know.
right? So,
Yeah.
so then next up is the group date. This date was trying. It was cute, but it was trying. And it's meet me in the woods was on this date card. I did write that
Right.
on. And so all the guys except for Xavier meet Charity in the woods, and Charity walks in with a bunch of Girl Scouts.
Weren't
And
they sassy? They were sassy.
and B said when they were in the hot tub, I was like, "Ooh, should I be watching this for real?" They
Like
was
this
like,
me. Like this me.
I was like, "How did they get so wet? Do we
Like,
want to
are we in
know?"
our bedroom right now? Should we be watching them? Oh my gosh, are we voyeurs? Okay.
So yes, this group date and the Girl Scouts, and they're there to teach them both to be a scout and be a good husband.
Yes.
And Braden is in ITM talking about he wants to assert dominance, and he kept saying he just wishes that she could stop being the Bachelorette, and it's like he really thinks he's Dale, and I need him to stop.
Exactly. Stop being the Bachelorette. Like, that's
What?
the show you're on. What do you think she's going to be? Like, go home.
And so whoever wins the task that they have them do gets to meet to go off one-on-one with Charity and meet
With
at
Miss Charity. With Miss Charity.
Miss
You get to
Charity
go on a date with Miss Charity.
and meet at the kissing tree. And
Ooh.
literally there was a little sign that kissing tree. And we see Brayden running around being silly. They're supposed to find food in the woods. Whoever makes an actual thing that they can eat. Don't just pick up sticks and and pine tree path.
They was trying to
They
bring
were
charcuterie boards. Who was in the
yeah,
front of charcuterie boards? I got a mixture of
yeah,
mushrooms and berries.
yeah, it was weird. But
He
Braden there running around without a jacket. He's such a 24
wants the
year
attention
old.
so bad. He want attention so bad. He
Oh my
want her to stop being the bachelorette because he want to be the bachelor. He want attention so bad.
oh my god. Um and Sean says Sean must have said something. Hey Chantel.
Hi. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was dissecting those clues and claim to fame, and so we
Oh yeah.
played and we were talking a lot. But happy
I'm
to
gonna
be
I'm gonna watch it tomorrow because I want to see what you guys have got for some of these people.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
But I literally love the show. Like I'm sitting here
Yeah.
now, like so obsessed with it. And this
That was
episode,
a shocker, though, right?
yeah, no,
Did you
I
think?
figured it
Oh,
out. I
no.
You knew he
knew
was
it.
gonna pick her. You thought you knew he was gonna pick her.
Yes, I
Well,
tweeted it.
well, with the episode title, we were deducing that it was going to happen, but like Jonathan was saying, yes, like he thinks so, and then I was saying no, just to be on the opposite side. But I had an inkling that he might go against the grain with him saying like, oh, I could go either way. It's like, you can't go either way. Like, you only have one way to go. And so
Yeah,
I had a
it was
feeling.
after those couple conversations. I was like, oh, he's gonna pick such and such, and fair.
I mean,
I felt like it was fair.
I don't know.
If this was Big Brother, would it not be fair?
I think it's fair, to be honest. It's
was
like he
fair.
didn't know her before the show.
Yeah.
He wanted to stay in the game.
I know. He was between a rock and a hard. But I'm gonna tell you, he on an island by himself now.
Yes.
The people,
Yes. He
they
chose
out
fine.
here.
I think we know who his person is as well now. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, so
let's
anyway.
talk about the Bachelorette. We can talk about that show forever.
Never, yeah.
Really,
So, like I said, I keep telling people it's basically Big Brother with Nepo babies. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Yes.
so
yes.
fun.
So we are talking about right now. We are on the group date, so we're not too far in. We're on the group date. Just started talking about the group date. Did you have anything to talk about Dalton's date with her?
I mean, I really like them together. I did not. I when they first had their first meeting, I remember being like, I don't know if I see it, and now I all I do is see it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel as though their conversations it's like they're really seeing each other. It's
Yes.
like it's not surface. It's kind of like they're really actually getting to know each other.
Yes.
And the fact that they were both willing to bungee jump twice, like
I know.
like I would do it personally just because like I'm kind of a daredevil in that way, but they both are not that. He's afraid of heights. Like, and the fact that they did that together, I think it's gonna really bond them and have something to always connect them, and I think it's good for their relationship. And I really like them together. I'm like, and what's really interesting is the more that I'm getting to know them, the better looking he gets every single week. He gets better looking.
That's what
and better
I was
looking
saying.
and better looking.
That is what I was saying.
I said before you came in that it feels like, first of all, their connection is so real. This is like the first time in a while that I've felt a genuine connection between a lead and one of her men. Like, even with the Michelle and Nate of it all, I just felt like they were
chemistry.
Yeah. But this one feels more like, oh my gosh, like this is the beginning of their love story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have a connection where they are each meeting each other where they need each other at, but not in a toxic way, like in the most beautiful way ever.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're on to the group date with the dramatics of Braden.
Was it you that tweeted to me the reason? Yeah, you messaged us.
I think I messaged you guys his chart.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah,
that's why they have this like understanding of each other that it's kind of unmatched, right?
Yeah. So apparently they're really like I think there's like her sun sign is his
His moon, and his moon
moon.
is her sun, I
Yeah,
believe it was, and then they both had the same rising or something, or
yeah,
like
yeah,
they had the same big three or something like that
yeah,
in a
yeah.
different
Basically, it just in
combination.
different combination, and it makes a lot more sense.
Well,
Um,
like he understands her emotionally and she understands him emotionally, and
right.
so that's really important, right? And so
Yes, I just think he's immature. And I said to Miss Teacher, I said the thing is about Braden is a lot of stuff that he was saying was not incorrect. When he was what he was saying about the guys in relation to his relationship with Charity wasn't in necessarily incorrect. And the pacing that he wanted wasn't necessarily wrong. But you came on the wrong show and you're
Right.
upset at her for being the Bachelorette
Right.
makes absolutely no sense to me.
it's
Right.
annoying.
It's
To be
annoying.
honest, it's like you just be on the show without like, why are you bashing her now? Being like, I
Yes,
just want her to be real. I just want to be her. It's like, well, you're not on a real thing.
right,
You're on a TV show where
right,
there's editors. You're mic'd up, so this is
right.
not real. Like we're gonna be as real as it can possibly be, hopefully. But like, it's still a produced show, so like,
Exactly.
don't be on the show if you're gonna have a problem with it not being real, or like.
Right. I just want her to not be the Bachelorette anymore. Well, too bad. So sad for
And
you.
if she
That's
wasn't
not
the
the show.
Bachelorette, you would never have met her.
Right. Hello?
And the name of the show that you applied for is called The
It's called
Bachelorette.
The Bachelorette. Right. And we better not see you on Paradise Island telling the girl, I just want you to act like you're not on Paradise Island.
Oh my god. Is he friends? He's the one that's friend. No, it's Aaron
No,
B that's
Aaron
friends
B.
with the Clancy
Yeah,
crew.
yeah. But who is it? Bachelor Clues on Bachelor Clues on Gabriel Rosen said he's sure he that Braden's been initiated into the San Diego crew.
Probably.
And I
I
was
can
like,
totally see Aaron just like loving him up,
yeah, exactly.
I could too.
Bromance
Um,
for show.
So basically, I think Sean was making fun of the girls, and the girls were upset about it, and they were like, "Who makes fun of little girls?"
Girls, right.
I mean, I thought it was actually kind of cute. Like, obviously, don't necessarily make fun of little girls, but when like they were like, "But I am a demon," I was like, actually.
Oh, she's like, "What does he think? We're demons? We're not demons." And this girl on the side is like, "I am a demon." And so the guys do come back with different things. Tanner comes back with mushrooms and pine nuts. Braden comes back with something similar that made like a little charcuterie board. But Braden is there eating the food, and she's like, "Why are you eating the food that?
Right.
Like, are you dumb? Why are you eating the food?"
I'm not just trying to be obnoxious. You over there eating radishes. Like, it's just obnoxious.
Do you know what though? I have I guess he wasn't really a close friend, but a guy that I knew pretty well. We took a lot of acting classes together about 20 years ago. And he was somebody that would just go and eat random like berries and random things. And he was actually on an island that he wasn't familiar with all the different like foliage and stuff like that on there. And he ate something and he didn't survive. Like he actually lost his eye from eating something that was poisonous that he wasn't familiar with. So
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think this is actually kind of like a little bit of a dangerous thing. Like,
Yeah,
That's why she was. That's why when, even though it was funny when she said it, I was like for real, like, are you dumb? Why are you eating stuff Anyway, I can't with that man. It was like scary. Like anyway.
were you wearing those dangly earrings in homage to him?
I hadn't even said it not once today. I had not mentioned those earrings.
And then he was like, first of all, he's running around without a coat. Then he takes off the shirt.
Yeah, why wasn't he wearing a shirt?
Because he wants attention.
He wanted to assert his dominance, he said.
And to be honest, with his shirt off, I was more turned off. To be fair.
He doesn't.
Not that he has a bad body, but like I don't know. I just was like,
I don't want to body shame, but no, for real.
I just wasn't into it though.
Yeah, because I will say I'm not a big fan of like overly muscular, so
right.
It's not my thing. So don't get me wrong, but he's not like even muscular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not into it.
You just have a regular body, which is fine.
Like,
yeah, which is fine.
And apparently, though, his ex-girlfriend, who he's known since high school but dated in like his earlier 20s, I guess a couple years ago, has been posting some TikToks about her experience with him. And she said for their entire relationship, and yes, they were younger than he is right now. He's only 24, so young. But he's always had said to her that he doesn't think that he wants marriage. He doesn't think that marriage is going to be something that he was interested in, like for their whole relationship. And so she was always kind of like, well, why are we even bothering trying if like that's something that I want? And why would you go on The Bachelorette when you know that that's something that The Bachelorette wants? Obviously, people can change. Maybe he thought that maybe he could get there, but we're seeing this season that he doesn't want to try to get there,
right?
And he's kind of behooving her for being on the show to want to try to find a partner. Like,
yeah. And to me, it still tracks with what I think, that he just came on the show to come on the show, and that he just happened to find a connection with the lead. But I don't even know. I do think he likes her, but I just don't even know if it was even ever strong enough that he, even really wanted to try. Like,
what's his profession again? Travel nurse.
Travel nurse, yeah. What Noah does.
He's like a nomad. He just wants to be free. He just wants to be free and travel and.
All I'm begging, and I said this on Monday. Do not, we know that man's going to be on Paradise. Do not allow him to do an Aaron Clancy and waste these women's time on Paradise.
That's like his role. What he's being hired to do now.
Right.
Is be annoying. He's created his brand and they're going to use it tirelessly. Unless like maybe he'll have an arc like Dean, because Dean was a little bit like he didn't really want to get married and he didn't want to commit to Kaylin at all, and like he's finally committed to her.
Yeah,
openly.
That's true. So long enough. Yeah.
That's like a good 3 years though it took for him to get there. So maybe it could be something similar for Brayden, but it's not fun for me right now to watch. But maybe he'll grow up.
I mean, yeah, he's young enough, and to be fair, I always could kind of understood Dean. His family life was just so tumultuous. Like his hometown date with Rachel Lindsay just saddened me.
I like Dean. He's so sweet.
Yeah. So Aaron B comes with mushrooms and frogs. He says we're gonna have fried frog legs.
Frog legs.
They're like, oh my god! And then the next thing they do
is true. Down in the South, certain people do be eating frog legs now.
I've had frog legs. It's okay. The next thing are some questions. One of the questions were if it was cold and there was no fire, what would you do to warm Charity up? And the best answer was Aaron B's, which was cuddle and hot cocoa. And the girl said, "Oh, I like cocoa." That's a good answer. Some of the other guys was basically like Mike, I think, was like, give her my coat and cuddle up. And I mean, I thought most of the answers were fairly good.
What was the question again exactly?
How would you warm Charity up if there was no fire?
Right.
And then
two people in a sleeping bag, that would work for me.
And then it was where do you see this ending? And literally everybody but Brayden said a version of engagement.
Great. Yeah.
One knee. Something that had to do with an engagement.
Right.
He says. And the thing is, his answer wasn't even sexy or romantic. It was dumb. It was just like,
girl, because he don't care.
Content? I'm content after a meal. Like, what? You just
wasted her time.
Yeah,
he's just there to play in her face. He just there to play in her face.
So Aaron B gets the one-on-one dates, and they go to the kissing tree, and they kiss each other's face off. That was cute. Then they go head to the nighttime, and again, as I said at the beginning, it's just like a lot of arguments.
Mm-hmm.
And Charity's wearing a sparkly black jacket and then a beautiful red suit. Mm-hmm. And the guys are talking. Sean is excited to have some one-on-one time. Aaron says he's ready to get engaged. That might change. And
now some people think that it's not him and that it's Xavier that's having those sound bites. I have to rewatch it properly, but like it would be pretty rich for him to be so on Brayden about the fact that like, yo, you're not ready while you're here, and then him and then be like, I'm not ready either. But it might be Xavier.
We will see. Because I was like, why are you showing this in the preview? Can we?
I didn't want to see it. I don't want to see know everything. Like, let me just be entertained.
And then Brayden says he knows he's the youngest guy in the room, but he's the realist, and they're not being real. Can you really get engaged after this? And then Aaron B's like, well, you don't want to be engaged, so then why don't you just leave?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why don't you just go ahead and go? He's like, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore because you took what I said the last time and you took it to Charity and you messed up our relationship. And Charity knew I've been saying I didn't want to necessarily get engaged. And they're going back and forth. Charity enters and she's just annoyed at this point. Mm-hmm. And she's like, can we go talk to Brayden? And Brayden and her go to a separate room. And he basically like kind of just draws the line. Like, well, you know, I said that I didn't want to be engaged. She's like, yes, but you agreed. Didn't he write it on a baseball? Didn't he say it to her afterwards that he would try to get there? Is this trying?
No, it's not.
He's just trying to be the villain, just to have as many eyes on him as possible. Like, he's calling out her and her, like, just be real, just be the Bachelor. Like, how about you just be real and not try to get so much attention and, like, have everybody, like, just, I don't know, be more real.
Mm-hmm.
And less attention seeking, please.
It's beyond frustrating. But anyway, basically, at the end of the day, she's disappointed that there was a plummet of their connection. She really believed in her whole heart that maybe their connection was strong enough to get them there. And he basically drew the line and he leaves. She's like, well, I'll walk you out. She's disappointed. She walks him out. She sits on the stairs. She's upset. And then they went to break. And I was just like, this is going to ruin the night, isn't it? Charity does go back into the guys. And I feel like the guys did their best. Sean comforted her. Joey comforted her and kissed her. Tanner gave her some comforts and kisses. I did not write most of whatever they said to each other. Michael and her were like hooty-hooing and and kissing.
So cute.
Joey gets the group date rose. She just feels like every time that they get together, it's just like the connection is always there. So then we get to the date with Xavier, and this is where I started freaking out.
Yes.
Why?
I knew you were. I said Tamika is at home and she's sweating bullets. Okay.
I was in the Black Rose's room like, oh my God, guys, what is she doing? Why is she saying that? What is this? What is going on?
He reminds me of my past, the men I used to mess with.
No. Her very first statement at the beginning of the date, and I wrote it because I started freaking out from that point. Just because she has a connection doesn't mean that her and the person are right for each other.
So then why is Brayden around for that long?
And that's what I said. I said, wait, what do you mean? What are you saying? I said, this is not foreshadowing.
Remind her past. It's something about she thought Xavier was just a slick. I think it was something like she felt like he was just too slick. He reminds her of somebody that she had a bad breakup with. I'm telling you. He remind her of somebody.
Yeah, definitely reminded her of somebody. I think it's the fact that he's so good looking and seemingly so kind, and like I think that she's just worried that he's pulling the wool over her eyes. You know what I mean? Like I think that she's just like last time that I was just kind of swept away by somebody's maybe physical appearance and what I've seen them do. They didn't actually care about me, and so I think that that's what she's attributing to him. And I was like, are you going to ruin this relationship with this man because of your past history, and you can't allow yourself to be loved by a really nice man? He's seemingly really lovely.
I was so scared. I was so scared, and I was like, so is this just about her ex, or is it also about what happened with Brayden, since it was so recent, but she's like also attributing what was going on with the ex also. Like it just felt like everything was like being meshed in, and I was like,
Together,
you're actually like, I like Charity and everything. I was like, but you're actually being unfair and discriminatory to this black man.
I think it's because, and I tell men this, and I tell, just whatever. When you continue to do people wrong and you keep causing the woman to not be able to trust her own judgment, and it gets in her head. So she's like constantly like second guessing her. So even if somebody is treating her good, it's like, no, because that last time that guy treated me good, it was only good for 3 months.
She's using her old playbook with this new guy.
And you just keep on like second guessing yourself, not trusting your own judgment. And it's it just eats at you. I hate it.
It shows that she hasn't maybe fully healed from whatever, if it was one past relationship or multiple, because having these experiences are to maybe inform you, but they're not supposed to be a wall, like a hindrance to you moving on with somebody. You know what I mean? Like it's like, take what you've learned, but don't paint everybody with the exact same brush just because like, oh, I had a black man that was good looking, that was like athletic, that wasn't into me. That means that every black athletic man isn't going to be into me as well. So I think she's painting people with a pretty big broad stroke here. And I don't know if she's matured enough to be able to
see the difference. Yeah, because I was like, how recent was this breakup? Like, it sounds like yesterday the way that she was talking about it. But let's get into this date real quick.
I know.
Like, they go to a local event, and the thing is, the date was like so lighthearted, and she's like freaking out in her ITMs, and I was like, what is like this was like a stark contrast of what was going on in the date. And
all I was saying was like, I can't believe she's ruining this date.
I know.
Okay, can I throw in like maybe a little devil's advocate here, or just like maybe because she didn't say all the time like those words coming out of her mouth. Sometimes it was like sound bits that were thrown in, like her like I don't or like her confessionals, right? I'm wondering if this is just to lead us away from the person that she picks, right?
Okay.
So like maybe she doesn't really feel this way about him, you know what I mean? Like but like she's just trying to create a little bit more of like drama, a little bit more like, okay, it's not going to be that easy for me everybody to know that I'm going to pick this perfect guy for me because like, he reminds me of my past. And so I'm wondering if this might be a little bit kind of enhanced feelings just to move along another storyline so it's not as obvious. Kind of like how Nate, right? They had, Nate, now he's a player and all that, like all this stuff, and like everybody else is like talking about, you know what I mean? Or like the people that they pick, it's just having a secondary storyline that they're not as great of a guy, or that there's some doubts or whatever. So I
still don't believe Nate is a player. From what I've watched, how he moves, because he literally has been in a relationship for the last few months.
Really? I didn't know.
Yeah. But he's just a Cancer. he's a what is it? I think he said he's like a triple Cancer. He said. Yeah.
No, I think he had like a Gemini in. He had something like opposite of Michelle, so similar to Brayden and Charity here. Like it was something similar with them. Like she had a Mercury moon and he had a Cancer moon or something like that. Or sorry, Gemini moon and she had a Cancer moon or something like that.
Let me see. What did he say? He says, "Yeah, I'm a triple cancer." I don't know what that memeans. He
Oh,
posted
maybe
a
it is. It
birthday
could be
gift.
Sun, Moon, and Rising actually, because this is
Yeah,
the Mercury that I'm talking about.
yeah. So I was like that kind of tracks, like not to attribute just zodiac signs to behaviors because I do think it was wrong how he broke up with Michelle, but I do think that a lot of the insecurities that he has tracks to the overly emotionality of him.
Mhm.
So I never believed he was a player. I certainly do not think that Xavier's a player. So that's why I was confused at where all of this was coming from. But they go to a local event and it's like a fruit festival and they go around and they smell lavender. He feeds
Mhm.
her chocolate. Uh,
Mm.
they eat pepper jelly. Then they mash
Got a
pear
little
jelly
spicy.
together. Yes.
I like. Does she not like spicy food though? I'm like, Charity, I like you, but like, I need you to like spicy food. I need her to like spicy
He's like,
food.
I love spicy food.
I love spicy
um,
food. Hot
Hmm.
and
sauce
then
and everything.
they're
Yes.
bobbing for apples, and
But the way they were bobbing for the apples, like they, and then they place them. I'm like, that's not how you bob for apples. Like, okay, see
I
how
was dying
dainty
laughing
with
at
it.
that. And it was like she was contradicting herself. So it kind of goes with what Chantel's saying here. It's like in one part she's saying he reminds her of people that she used to date that she used to date and where like it did not work out. But then in other ways she's like with him she can be goofy and be herself. So I'm so confused because I was like, wait, what do you say? Like, what do you
That could be
say?
the same person. With that person, you could be yourself and goofy and stuff, and it not work out. But
And
I
then
don't
she's
know.
like, there were too many compliments, but he makes her smile and laugh, and he says that she makes him feel giddy, and I'm just like, oh my god,
Oh,
like he's
kitty.
so happy, and this is such a good day. Why are you not appreciating this date?
But I think it has to be the producer. Like, don't make it so obvious that you're picking him,
Okay,
please.
I can't.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
I do
I
feel
just don't
like
want her to ruin this. Like, I
yeah.
really like him.
Me too. I was like, with the Johnson date, I really feel like the producers set that up for him to freak out and for him not to get the rose. But every time she has a date with Johnson, I feel like they meet each other where they need to, and he like
Hmm.
surpasses it every time. And so I don't think he's the producer pick, but I do think that he keeps blowing it out the water that they can't
Hmm.
do anything about it but just show the dates as they are. And with Xavier, I don't necessarily think he's the producer's pick. I think he might be her pick, but I also don't think they want it to be so obvious that because even I think on Dear Shandy, they're like, if Xavier's the ring winner, like they're not showing their love story at all. And I agree. I agree.
And they do that sometimes, right? To make
Yeah,
suspense.
yeah,
They focus on all the other drama, and then like all of a sudden, this person comes in and wins.
yeah. And it's like, how did we get here? Like, okay. So then they do go to dinner and she says she's looking for him to like get deeper. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay, but like I don't feel like you guys have had much one-on-one time. So like you want him to go from nothing
Like
to
you
like
like deeper, but like you went on you a one-on-one date with what's his name with Braden.
braiding.
Like give him that one-on-one date if you wanted to get to know him and go deeper with him. Like
Right.
why waste your time with Braden, someone that I don't think that she felt that she was going to ever marry him.
Right.
Like instead, like get to know somebody that you were having slight doubts with just because like he reminded you of your past. Like, anyways, it's annoying.
It was annoying. But he does open up at dinner, and
Hmm.
he says that he never felt listened to or understood in past relationships, and I'm like, oh. And then he says that he always felt like he was boring, and that the girls didn't want to hear what because he's a scientist, so they didn't want to hear about his work, and I feel like if you look at his IG, he loves being a scientist.
So cute.
It's so cute. It's actually really, really like attractive because like he was like he just finished his like thesis or something. He did something to cure something, and he was like
Well, he's
the
doing
way,
it all to cure for MS, right?
and
Isn't it?
yes, and so he like put it in his little caption, and you just feel, oh my god, he's so proud, like he enjoys his
How
work.
is she getting like scientists and doctors as her final two?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's a good group of people. I think also it might be, he might be, girls that go for him might think, oh my God, he's so attractive and he's a scientist. He's making money. Oh, he got money. They might think that. And then he is a
Shallow.
Virgo hermit type. And then he gets in there and they're like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know any science, so I don't know these terms he's using. I don't care about MS like he does. My mom's not affected by it. You know what I mean? Like, and they get in there and they're kind of just like, no.
It's like me with my ex-boyfriend. Like he talks to me a lot about his job, and a lot of it to me is gibberish. But I listen.
What kind of work are we going to out
He's in like security analyst, net IT, that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of computers and certificates and all that. And then, and so I ask questions where I need to. And then it's like, we're friends. Like even as friends, like I'll ask him but as like sometimes every now and then I'm like, that a lot of this is like gibberish to me. He laughs. But I listen to like all you have to do sometimes is listen and let them talk and just ask
you're passionate
questions.
about it. It's still, I find
exactly.
Right?
But you have to not be self-centered to just be able to listen and stuff. And so he might be meeting women who are very self-centered.
Potentially, and they're going to be young at this point, right?
Right.
So, I don't know how old he is, right? He's probably 28, I'm guessing, but
he's
early 20s.
Right?
Yeah. I think he's still working on his doctorate, so I can't remember his, but yeah. Okay. So he does say that he's doing work for and finally, because I feel like they haven't had really any alone time. He does tell her that his mom was sick and she has MS and he's trying to cure it, and that his parents have this beautiful, long lasting marriage, and his father's always there for her, and he just wants that out of life.
Yes. I was like, oh my God.
I think he's
my
told.
dad just jokes on my mom and he does everything for her. He does everything for her. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
I was like, girl, like, please, can you see him? I think if you don't see him, you might lose him. Like the other than
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that she might like not recognize that. Like, wait. What, like, were the other guys that she's dated in her past like the same pedigree as him, like with like similar educational background and like profession? Because like I don't know, I just feel like it's his looks, and I think that he also plays a sport. I think because remember I was talking about All the Right Reasons. Kayla was talking about how you play. I don't remember what sport she was talking about. Yeah, but he's really good at some sort of sport. So maybe I don't know. I need to know more about this ex. Pardon?
Okay. Wasn't it basketball?
Maybe. I don't remember specifically.
I don't.
Oh, he was good at dodgeball, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was him with basketball. I think that was John, but I think it might have been football. I think it might have been football. But yeah, like, so she says she finally sees him for the great guy he is, and I was like, thank God. This is what I was like. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I know you were like, when she was like giving him that rose, I know you were breathing and stuff.
And she's like, she's honored that he opened up to her about his mom's sickness, his parents' marriage, and he gets that group one-on-one date rose. And I was like, oh, thank God, because I was worried. I know a lot of people were worried. I was like, what is happening here? Am I in the Twilight Zone? So lots of kisses, and she grabs his hand to get off the table, and then they go kiss on the side. But it looked like she was about to bring him up to her room. So I was like, wait, where are we going with this?
Early fantasy suite.
Yeah, right? But she says she's way more confident in him. So he alleviated all those. I mean, it kind of sucks the best way to. Like he basically had to rip his heart out, and which is fine. This is the show. But She said she's way more confident in him, and intuition, all her intuition, all signs point to Xavier, and she's a lot giddy about him. So a lot of people are like, oh my god, like, are we questioning her? Because I'm starting to question her, and I was like, I'm not going to question her because I do feel like she got there at the end of the day, and like you saying, Chantel, it could have just been a bit of
Play this up a little
Frankenstein.
bit.
Yeah,
This insecurity a little bit.
yeah.
Get it out of him.
Get it, yeah. So it was just so weird. I was like, where is this coming from?
No, I thought it was like, even if it was true, I just thought
Yeah.
how it was brought up. I was kind of like, that's a little abrupt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
he didn't do anything to make me think that she should be thinking of him that way. And
Right.
so I
All
really
that man
wish
been
he had
doing
at
is
least
knitting.
qualified
All he been doing is
him.
knitting.
Pardon?
Wait, what'd you say, Miss C. Joy?
I said all he's been doing is knitting. He's been
I
staying
was
out of
gonna say he knitted her a sweater. He did it. I mean, a scarf. What the heck? Okay. So we go to the rose ceremony, and I'm just gonna blow by this because most of this was BS. And it was
I have a problem with it too, actually.
yeah. She's there in a beautiful red dress and a white coat, and she said lots of questions, but her heart is open. Aaron B, I forget what he said. I forget what he did. And I can't read my notes here. She does bring a younger photo of herself for Daunton.
And see, that's, remember I was saying, I think it was with both of you, like creating a moment, like that's a moment, right? So like if they were to get married and they had children, they'd be like, it would probably become a thing, like this baby picture thing that like the family, like, I don't know, like I feel like they're creating a moment that's part of their familial legacy. And so
it's stuff you see on Hallmark. It's stuff you see on Hallmark. It's like all of a sudden they break out the album, and then it's like, oh, I have something similar, and they bring it together, and it's like, oh my god, we have this commonality. And yeah, I absolutely agree.
I'm sold on that love story. I'm sold on it. I'm sold on
it. I do think she said about Aaron B that he like always like just meets her expectations every time, that so she likes Aaron B. Joey, she said there never seems to be enough time with him, and she just always wants more time with him. I don't know, I'm iffy. A lot of people like Joey for her, and then they like him for The Bachelor, and I'm just like, neither. I don't want him for either.
I don't like watching him kiss.
I'm not a fan. I like Joey. I'm just not a fan of
them being together. And it didn't help that they show everything. So now we know that he's made it to hometown, and his daddy's like, have you seen the real Joey? I'm like, they tell everything.
Yeah. And I don't know about Joey. I just not.
Remember, we felt one type of way about him before when we were doing the casting before it came on, and we were looking at his IG. We felt a way about him before, right? Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden we start watching the show, and we were like, oh no, he's good. Okay, he's not how we thought, or whatever. And now with the daddy talking about, have you seen the real Joey? Now I got my big eye on him again, and now I'm like, what I thought about you.
What were you gonna say, Chantel?
I don't know if I remember.
All right.
Oh yes. So I think that potentially, I always am bringing in like the producer potential takes, right? Mm-hmm. Is that I think that they don't want to have a whole POC Final Four. I think that, whether or not, I think she does have a connection with him to a certain extent, but I don't think that they're going to let it just be another Final Four of all Black people. So yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why he's going to get through to Final Four and Final Three, is because they want to keep it, they want to hopefully keep like the white viewer engaged.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing with them. Some people see it. I don't see it with them.
People love them,
and I do think
it's the Mitch effect. I can't deal with the bad. I don't know. It's not my.
Yeah. I do think they have a connection. I just don't.
Scott. I always see Mitch with Scott effect.
Yeah. I just don't see them being it, and that's the problem.
Right.
And then she takes Tanner outside to go find Sasquatch, which was crazy. And she kisses Tanner. And then she's in a room with John. John's about to get his one time, and they're kissing. And Brayden comes storming in,
Dangly earrings just bouncing.
and then walks into Charity because they're away from all the guys and stuff. Walks into Charity and John's time,
and then waits there like it's
and
so
then
awkward.
just stands there while they're making out.
So gross.
It was so gross.
It was so gross.
I was uncomfortable for him, and the fact that they didn't know that he was there for a bit, like
I know.
My stomach kind of turned.
Yeah. I know. And then we go on a break and come back, and Charity had turned her head and she's like, "Who's that?" No.
She saw ghosts, like literally.
And then he basically interrupts their time, and
Sean is pissed.
It was just weird. B says Brayden walking through the woods with flip flops is freaking weird. Absolutely, the man's just nuts. He does apologize for how he reacted.
But then he's rude when he's doing this. So like, be consistent in your actions, right?
Right, and
like,
it's
if you're
like,
gonna apologize for how what you're saying and how you're treating whatever, and like how you went out. Like, well, how you came in wasn't great either. So are you gonna apologize for that?
How you're still trying to make it about you and still interrupting my time, wasting my time, still, wasting other people's time, shortening other people. You're still doing it. Like, bye.
So it's like kind of. So what did you actually think was going to happen here? Did some producer tell you, well, maybe if you go back and apologize, she'll let you back on?
Yeah.
Probably.
Or they told him, just go ahead. You're activated. Go ahead and just go back in there and do something.
So then they're like, nothing comes of it. He storms out, and then the guys just basically roll on him. And people didn't like how the guys were talking to him, and that they should have they elongated it and just let him go. And I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care about any of it. The guys have a reason to be upset. Some of them did not get time with them. And after, like, when you see what happens at the end of the episode, you're like,
right.
They really were basically doing that because they were upset for the other men that didn't get time.
Right.
They were upset for their friends who did not get time because they feel like those men are better men than Brady and should have gotten their time for her to make a proper decision. So anyway, he finally gets in the van and goes off. And then we get to, of course, John thinks he's going back for time, and Jesse walks in and said, "Nope, that's it." And they're like, "Okay, so rose ceremony." So we know that Xavier got a rose, Danton got a rose, and Joey got a rose. So this is apparently going on the 6th, and only 3 people were going to get a rose. So Aaron B gets his rose first. Not surprised. Knew he was going to get his rose.
I thought the next rose, even though it wasn't a great conversation necessarily, and the kiss was a little bit awkward, but I still thought she was going to give John a chance. I thought John was the next person.
I was telling Miss TJ, I was in the Black Roses room, and somebody asked, well, who do we think is top 6? And I said, well, other than the guys that already got the roses, I said it's going to be Aaron B., John, and I said, and between Sean Tanner and like one of the white guys, I was like, I don't know, whichever one she chooses.
Person? Oh, Michael was the other person.
Yeah, I did not think Michael was.
No, he never got any time, and they didn't seem to vibe that much.
No, like it seemed like friends. Like I didn't feel like they were.
I was like, I guess Sean, but like, because her and Tanner's kiss wasn't good either. So.
Yeah, so that's what I thought. So when she calls Tanner, I was like, excuse me.
I'm shocked.
That was pretty. Like we need more people on the show. Just saying it.
And then
what'd you say?
I was saying that, like, I feel like that the producer's saying we need more white people on the show.
It has to be 3-3. That's where we're at.
Because
3-3. That's where we're at. It's 3-3. That's where we're at. This is ridiculous. And then he said Sean, which I actually understood Sean more than Tanner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not into Sean. Like his comments, like you're wearing a scarf.
I think he's phony. I think he's phony. I think Sean's phony. He just knows how to present well, but I think it's real. I think it's phony.
So Mike is fine. He he leaves, but first Caleb B. I think
I was surprised he was emotional. I was like, he's emotional.
But remember his thing. It was like he's a wrestler with a heart. So he comes over and she's crying and he's like crying and she's like, I'm so sorry, and he's like, no, it's okay. Like you picked some really great guy, and oh my god, it's like now, damn, you got me liking Caleb B.
No,
I know.
I didn't get caught though. No.
I did, and then the men were crying, and then
the men were crying for each other, and they're like, "No, you picked some really
like boo-hooing."
I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" Like all these men are crying for each other.
Yes. And that's the crazy, because most of the time when men really want the girl, the lady, and they get booted, they're like, it should have been me, I should have stayed. But all of them were like, but she has such a good group of men. Like, she has such a good group of men.
I do believe that.
Find somebody. They all were so like, complimentary to the other men that it was just kind of like, oh, they really had a brotherhood, a little bromance and stuff. So
I was mostly disappointed for John. I did not feel like they had that strong of a connection, but I thought he was.
I feel like he along for one more round. Like I don't know.
I feel like he like Bachelor. Like
I don't know if he'll be the Bachelor. Didn't pop that much. Really
that's what people keep saying. Oh, he's boring. I said they chose Clayton.
But Clayton could be a puppet, right? So
I'm annoyed.
Is that another Taurus that you don't want to claim, Clayton?
The way he handled his season, I don't claim Taurus, man. I'm gonna tell you the truth. They give us a bad freaking name. Him, Monty, who else? All these damn Xavier. Oh, I would like when I went back and watched BB23.
If you saw the feeds, you'd have been pissed.
Oh, I was so disappointed in him because I actually like I've watched him do things outside, like talk about the show, how he talked about Taylor, and then even somebody said that little blurb that he had said when Taylor was in the house was like bullshit because it these people look up to him and they're reacting to what they like saw him do, and I was like, shit. So what like. Is there no good Taurus men on
TV? They don't cast them. See?
No.
So, how were the ratings this week? Did anybody look at the ratings for this?
Ratings were better. The ratings were better.
Is it back to 8 yet, or is it next week? It's 8 o'clock.
Next week it's going to be 8 o'clock. So the ratings didn't match. Matched Claim to Fame lead in. So that's good. And I personally feel like it's because of the two people that she gave dates with. People want to see connections. Mm-hmm. And so next week it's going to be back at 8 o'clock. So we'll see how it does. And Claim to Fame will be reversed at what, 10 to 11? Yeah.
10. I mean, they'll know people will watch Claim to Fame. They don't know if people will sit through the entire Bachelor 2 hours.
Yeah. Because the drop off was huge. So Dabu says none of these men came for her. I don't believe that. I think Danton and
I think so. I think Danton.
Harsh.
Yeah, I think they came for her. They don't know who the Bachelor is when they apply. Not necessarily. I think they announced.
Yeah, that's true.
They announced her at the end of the previous season.
Yeah,
at the final rose.
Yeah,
they hadn't finished casting yet, so some may not have known, but some of them I think might have seen her get the news.
Yeah, I think so too. In the preview, doesn't Aaron say we're Chantel says she's not sure if that's
So other people
it.
that have been debunking it, some say it's Aaron, some say it's
Mhm.
Xavier. So we don't know yet. They might have been
Yeah.
I
putting.
don't know, but it looked like drama.
Yeah.
Well,
Um.
that's the final 6 already. We're on week 5.
Yeah, we were talking
That's
about
what
that.
we were saying.
We're trying to figure out what's like who's get like how many people get cut next week. We don't even know. And then Dabu says, not sure why having doubts is crazy. Who's the last couple to last? Rachel and Brian? No, there's been couples after Rachel and Brian, right?
That's
I mean, Matt.
lasted.
Listen, we don't
Matt.
necessarily ride for them, but Matt and Rachel are still together, and we knew he was going to pick her. So there's that.
It's true.
On the Bachelorette side, I don't. Hannah's not with her pick, right? So
Hannah.
Hannah B.
No, she's not with her
She just
pick.
wasn't with him like at the final rose. Like
Yeah,
after the final rose.
yeah, and so and we know Becca's not with hers. So who else is there?
JoJo
JoJo was she after Rachel?
before.
She's with Jordan.
Or is she after? She's before Rachel, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was before Rachel.
So Rachel and JoJo.
Caitlin, no.
Oh wait, so Claire no, Tasha no, Michelle
no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think those are the only 2 that I can think of right now, and so this probably.
She said I like Joy for myself. Okay, man.
Have them. All yours.
All yours. Dabu says Joey lives in Hawaii. No way he gives up. This is what we were saying in our
That's what
cast
we were
assessment.
saying.
We said that in our cast assessment. I don't think he's going to give up his lifestyle that he's still living to be with her. No.
And I do not see her moving to Hawaii.
Yeah, no. V says, I don't see Aaron lasting long for some reason. Listen, he could be
around.
I feel like he's going to make it at least hometown.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he is the person that she's talking to, then he must make it to a pinnacle point, right?
Right. Yeah. And
like, don't we need to see? I think Dotton has another one-on-one date, and Joey, I believe, has another one-on-one date. Mm-hmm. So
we'll see. If Dabu says if your ass goes home, Charity isn't that into you. Simple, nothing to do with Brayden. What?
Well, I think though, if you have a little bit more time with some people, like maybe I agree that she's probably like, yeah, I'm not into them enough. But if you had a little bit more time, she might be like, well, I'd rather keep him around for a little bit. Like I liked getting to know him a little bit. Like he's not the one, but I want him to stick around.
She seemed more upset about letting Caleb B go than she was about John. And I feel like John just liked her more than she liked him, and she recognized that. And that's the only thing that I could think of. He did get time. He just didn't get a lot of time. Right. But the other men got no time.
But he got more time than Caleb B. He definitely did. And he got more time than Tanner. So for her to feel like she has more.
Maybe the kiss was really Tanner. Remember, if the kiss ain't great, legs don't separate. So maybe the kiss really turned her off.
V says, I don't believe Caleb's tears. Sorry. Well, fine. I got snowed. Debu says, why are they crying? All but one will get dumped. Going over this stuff.
They have a bromance, Debu.
Listen, leave these men alone. We like to see emotion out of men. Come on.
They've been going to therapy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the show. Because I got to get off before Love Island starts. Sometimes they be starting it early. What have you guys got in the works this next couple of weeks?
Well, I'm going away, so next week I won't be able to join you too. Mm-hmm. But I believe Yusmika and I will be doing a lengthy catch up tomorrow on. We'll try to make it quick because we'll have to figure it out. With the last 5 episodes of Love Island UK, and then maybe do another recap for Friday on Sunday. I don't know, we'll figure it out. So maybe just subscribe to Reality Realness with 3 S's so you can be notified when we go live, just because the schedule is going to be off a little bit, and then there'll be no recaps for me for the week, and then maybe come back on the following Sunday and do another catch up, or Monday even. So I'm sorry, this season's too damn long. I gotta go away, It's like it should have ended this week, in my opinion.
Listen, I get it because it should be over. So as always, follow me and follow Chantel. Chantel of Reality Realness, and follow me at Entertainment in Color everywhere. So after this, I'm going to be watching the Love Island USA episode that's streaming tonight, and then I will be recapping about 10-15. Last night they went over 15 minutes, so after the show ends, I'll be streaming about 10-15 minutes after that. So join me for that quick recap. We're doing like a 30-minute recap on those, and then hopefully Chantel and I will get together on Love Island USA at some point. And then so we'll let you guys know when we'll be doing our Bachelorette recap next week, because also Big Brother starts next week, and I am going.
It's week after.
Yes, it's going to be the anniversary schedule celebration.
On the 25th, right?
So,
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and so I actually am going to be doing a review and recap on that next week. I believe Thursday after the special airs with Janelle. If you have not seen Janelle, you can also go on Chantel's channel. She did Summer House Martha's Vineyard recaps with her. And then hopefully Love Island UK will be over and we can focus on other things. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. We will catch you on the flip side. Love ya.
Bye.